What if I told you that a killer arranged a body on a public sidewalk, like a piece of art in broad daylight, and was never caught? Not in the 1800s, not in a third world country. Los Angeles, 1947. And the file is still open today. This is the Black Dahlia, January 15th, 1947. 10 in the morning. Betty Berzinger was pushing her daughter's stroller through the Leimert Park neighborhood of Los Angeles. She noticed a white shape in an empty lot beside the sidewalk. She assumed it was a discarded mannequin. She walked closer. It was the naked body of a young woman, severed completely in half at the waist, and there was no blood, not a single drop anywhere near the body. The killer had drained her completely somewhere else, then brought her here and arranged her like a display facing the street. He wanted her to be found. The Los Angeles Police Department arrived within minutes. What they found confounded every detective on the scene. The bisection was surgical, clean, professional, the kind of cut that required knowledge of human anatomy. Her wrists and ankles showed rope marks. She had been tortured before she died for an extended period of time. Her official cause of death, cerebral hemorrhage. She had been dead for approximately 12 hours before Betty Berzinger found her, which means somewhere in Los Angeles the night before, someone was doing this. And nobody heard anything, nobody saw anything, nobody called anyone. Now here's the part that makes this case different from every other murder mystery. The victim, Elizabeth Short, had been in Los Angeles for only 6 months. Nobody really knew her. Nobody knew where she'd been the week before she died. A whole week, completely unaccounted for. Where was she? Who was she with? Let me tell you about Elizabeth Short. Elizabeth Short was born in Boston in 1924, third of 5 daughters. Her father disappeared when she was 6 years old, left his car on a bridge and vanished. Everyone assumed he was dead. He wasn't. He had simply walked away from his family. Elizabeth grew up largely without him, struggled with her health, quiet, pretty, desperate to be seen. At 18, she reconnected with her father in California. It didn't go well. He threw her out after a series of arguments. And so, Elizabeth Short began drifting through California alone. By 1946, she was in Los Angeles, working as a waitress, taking acting lessons, renting a small room behind a nightclub on Hollywood Boulevard. People who knew her described her as warm, friendly, a little lost. She wore black almost exclusively, dark hair, dark clothes, red lipstick. Newspapers would later call her the Black Dahlia. The last confirmed sighting of Elizabeth Short was January 9, 1947. A man named Robert Manley drove her from San Diego to Los Angeles. He dropped her at the Biltmore Hotel at around 6:30 in the evening. She walked through the lobby doors. Nobody who has ever come forward saw her alive again. 6 days between the Biltmore Hotel and that vacant lot in Leimert Park. Nobody knows where she was. Nobody knows who she was with. The detectives never found out. The investigation that followed was one of the largest in LAPD history. Over 150 suspects investigated, hundreds of witnesses interviewed. More paperwork than almost any murder in department history. And then the press arrived. Reporters descended on the crime scene before police could secure it. Details of the murder, some accurate, many fabricated, were published within hours. The name Black Dahlia appeared in print within days. It sold papers, millions of them, and it destroyed the investigation. False confessions flooded in. Over 50 people confessed to killing Elizabeth Short. Every confession had to be investigated. Every investigation took time. Every wasted hour allowed the real killer to disappear further into history. By the spring of 1947, the case was already going cold. In October 1949, a grand jury convened specifically to examine the LAPD's failure to solve Elizabeth Short's murder. They found serious inadequacies. They found that the press had compromised the investigation. They found that key evidence had been mishandled. Nothing changed. The case remained open. The killer remained free. Here's where it gets interesting. Because 78 years later, in 2026, right now, researchers are still actively arguing about who did this. And one of the main suspects was accused by his own son, a retired LAPD detective. Think about that for a second. Over the decades, several suspects emerged as more credible than others. The most prominent, George Hodel. Hodel was a physician, brilliant, charming, and by many accounts, deeply dangerous. His own son, Steve Hodel, a retired LAPD detective, spent years building a case against his father after his death. He believed his father had the medical skill to make the precise incisions found on Elizabeth Short's body. He believed his father knew her. He believed his father killed her. The LAPD took the accusation seriously enough to reopen the investigation. But George Hodel died in 1999. Without physical evidence, nothing could be proven. Then in 2026, author William Mann published new research arguing that Hodel almost certainly never met Elizabeth Short at all, which means we are back to where we started. 150 suspects, 0 arrests, 0 convictions. There's also a second major suspect, never named publicly, referenced only in sealed files held by the Los Angeles District Attorney's Office. Those files remain sealed. I want to leave you with one thought. The person who did this, if they lived a normal lifespan, died somewhere in Los Angeles. Maybe they had children, maybe grandchildren, maybe they were famous. They watched this case become a movie, a novel, 100 documentaries, and they never said a word. That's what makes the Black Dahlia different from every other cold case. The answer existed, it just died with someone who chose to take it to the grave. If you think you know who did it, drop your theory in the comments. I read every single one. The Los Angeles Police Department still officially lists this case as open, active, unsolved. Elizabeth Short came to Los Angeles with nothing but hope. The city gave her a nickname and forgot her real name. Her name was Elizabeth Short, not the Black Dahlia. Elizabeth Short, born July 29, 1924, died approximately January 14, 1947. Age 22, no arrest ever made, no case ever closed. This has been The Cold File. Subscribe if you believe every case deserves a second look. We'll see you in the next file.